Listeners beware, you choose the scare.
Howdy folks, welcome back to Nightmare on Fear Street. This week we're actually getting into a wax museum. Ooh! Unfortunately for you guys, I don't know any paddleball tricks, so I'll just hit myself in the face. But luckily we have actually a really special guest with us. We actually have, what's your name?
Kristen Lopez.
Yes, it's really cool to have her on the show just because for me, that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and when she said she wanted to be on the show, I was like, wait, why does that name sound familiar? Because she does a Disney podcast that I listen to.
Yeah, I do the Walt Sent Me Podcast.
It's a really good podcast. What's it about?
We look at the Walt Disney Company, obviously, and their movies, but we also look at the various subsidiaries of Disney, me and my co-host Todd Liebenow, because most people don't know that Disney is a company that likes to buy other companies. So most people wouldn't know that something like Clerks or Pulp Fiction is actually a Disney movie, because it's created by Miramax, which Disney owned for a brief period of time. They also have a bunch of other studios, so Todd and I usually pick a movie from one of those various studios, whether it's actually Walt Disney proper, or maybe it's Miramax, or it's Hollywood Studios, or it's Marvel, or it's Star Wars if it's the new ones, because we can't count the old ones. So we usually look at those, and then we do a short, one of the Mickey shorts that accompanies it as a lead-in. We also talk a little news, and Todd and I usually disagree about certain things, so it's a fun show.
What other podcasts do you do? Because you have a cacophony of other podcasts.
I do. I guest on a bunch of other podcasts. I'm one of the team of the Next Best Picture podcast, talking Oscar stuff. And I also run my own podcast called Ticklish Business. I'm a classic movie fan. So every 2 weeks, if I'm not woefully behind on editing, I will have a guest and we talk about classic cinema pre-1970s-ish. So this week we did an episode about Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Next week...
that's a really good movie.
Exactly. It's when we did it in honor of Ryan Murphy's feud. So that was a really fun episode. Next time, we're going to look at Gone with the Wind, which is a movie that I do not particularly care for. So
are you going to do like a 5-hour podcast for the 3-hour movie?
No, I was very lucky that the episode, the actual discussion is only about an hour, and I'll edit that down. So I'm hoping it's probably about 45 minutes. We did a Ben-Hur podcast talking about the various incarnations of Ben-Hur, and that one was really long. And it didn't help that the audio didn't save, so we actually had to record it twice. No. So yeah, we've had some. It's me and a rotating panel of guests. So technology is not often my friend when we record, but it's great to have people. People say they don't often get to talk about cinema from that time period, so it's great.
If you ever need someone for classic horror, that's my thing.
I will keep you open. Yeah, last October we didn't have a lot of time because I started the podcast. Actually created it rather late in the year, and we did the Frankenstein series. So we talked about...
Oh, you did them all. Wait, Hammer or Universal?
Universal. So we just did the first 3 with Karloff. So we did Frankenstein, Bride, and Son, which was really fun. Todd and I did that one. So next time, I haven't really settled on it, but yes, I will definitely hit you up for once October's schedule rolls around.
Yeah, any Universal movie I'm fine with doing, as long as it's not Phantom of the Opera, because then I will go off on Harry Potter.
I'm a Creature from the Black Lagoon person, which I know is the cheesier ones, but you know what?
Actually, I think it's not the cheesiest. If you go into like the story of how it was made, it's honestly was the most grueling for all the actors.
Well, and I'm a fan of. I love Esther Williams, and her whole purpose for being an actress was to swim in her films and act. And I love swimming stuff, and just, yeah, I think maybe my love of Creature from the Black Lagoon just stems from the fact that I love watching aquatic stuff happen, in cinema, because working with water is not easy.
No, the guy that played the Gill Man had to hold his breath for about 8 minutes at a time when you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, if anybody's read Esther Williams' autobiography, she talks about almost drowning because she got the bends, essentially, and tried to take a nap while underwater. The directors of the studio didn't really care. They treated their actors like cattle. So she did like a 60-foot dive and actually broke her neck and proceeded to keep doing the scene and then realized like something was wrong when she couldn't get out of the pool. So yeah, working with water in early cinema, there is a wealth of horror stories that are so fascinating to read.
Yeah, especially. I was wondering when you chose Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum, I'm like, are we going to be making as many, Vincent Price references as humanly possible in this episode?
It's funny you
or
brought that up.
Are we talking about the original?
It's funny you brought that up because when I was looking through the list of potential books, that was one of the reasons why I kind of picked it. I'm like, well, if it's good enough for Vincent Price, although the actual original one from like 32 or whatever, Mystery.
Welcome to the Mystery of the Wax Museum.
Yeah, I finally saw that one about a year or so ago, and I love early Technicolor because it's a beautiful color palette, but I have to say, I like the Vincent Price one more because really Mystery at the Wax Museum is almost like a Torchy Blane type of movie. So it's wisecracking reporter trying to, find this case. It's not really a horror movie. And I like the Vincent Price one because it's no denying that it's a horror movie.
Yes, it's also really good. Even the stupid gimmick of it was released was 3D.
Yeah.
That's why I have like the paddle ball scene. And all the popcorn scenes, and oh my god, it's such a good movie.
53, 54 is considered the year for 3D. Every single movie was 3D, and some of it is just hilarious how they tried very hard to get the 3D gimmick.
Well, no, because James Cameron's trying to bring it back with like real life 3D. So like my head will explode. That's what's going to end up happening.
And I can't say that I get invited to press screenings, and it's really only when I go see those, if they're in 3D, that I see 3D movies. I do not pay to go see anything in 3D because I wear glasses, so glasses on glasses, or I have to put contacts in, and I'm like, I don't want to put contacts in for, an hour and a half, so I usually don't do that because A, it's expensive, and B, who wants glasses on glasses, and C, most stuff now is so subtle. I almost miss the days of throwing stuff at the screen because you really don't get the 3D stuff. They have to calibrate it very perfectly in terms of light and how they project it. That oftentimes if you get a movie that's projected poorly in 3D, you feel like you just wasted your money.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for the days like when they had like William Castle movies.
Yes.
So like we have like skeletons hanging from the ceiling, like vibrator seats. And so many wonderful things.
I'm waiting for the day for, Disney style 3D where they just have water and stuff shooting at you.
Yeah, Disney 4D.
That's what I want. That's, when they have that, then I'll pay extra.
I'm surprised the El Capitan doesn't do that. That would have been like a really cool experience.
That's true. I'm surprised they don't. Mind you, I've been near the El Capitan. I haven't been there. I've been to the soda shop next door.
Okay, you've been to I like the El Capitan. Originally I saw Lilo and Stitch there.
I've been in there for 5 minutes. I covered the TCM Classic Film Festival, and we were there to see Maureen O'Hara was doing a talk, and I was in the box seats where the handicap section is for about 5 seconds, and then the TCM crew had cameras where I was supposed to be sitting, so I lost my seat, and I was very mad, so I was only in there for about 5 minutes, so I couldn't really, take it all in, but I've been near it, so I think that counts.
Nice. I think we should try getting into this book now, just because it's such a weird book, and we have so much to cover on this.
I wouldn't put anything past R.L. Stine, so...
Oh, how familiar are you with Goosebumps and R.L. Stine?
Oh, I am probably a big Goosebumps nerd. I'm a child of the 90s, so I read all the books. Usually you could tell if something had affected me because when my mom would clean out under my bed, she would find the books there that were too frightening. I would just throw them under there, and I guess in my mind, I assumed that meant they'd go away. So I read a lot of them. I watched the television show. The television show is my favorite thing. And I even saw the Jack Black movie when it came out, last year? I'm almost 30 and I still will sit and watch the television show and be just enraptured by it. Cheesy effects, sponge with teeth and all. I am always happy.
What's your favorite Goosebumps book?
Oh gosh. I do like Terror Tower, probably because I'm a history nerd and it tries to connect back to historical stuff. I also like Stay Out of the Basement. I don't know why. Maybe because plant people just seem like something that I would be interested in. And there was also the one with the library where the teacher ate bugs. That one was good too. They're all wacky and weird in their own ways, and it's always delightful.
Yes, I love them so much, and that's why we're doing a Choose Your Own Adventure, because they're the wackiest and the weirdest, just because all the endings make no sense.
Exactly.
So this week we're actually going to be doing Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum by R.L. Stine. So it's a Give Yourself Goosebumps book. So instead of doing a typical review as how we would review the book, we're going to actually do the book on air. And I'm not going to be making the decisions. Kristen's going to be making the decisions for us.
Yay!
So do you want to describe this cover? Or do you want me to describe this cover?
Well, what is the best way to describe this cover? It is a woman who looks like Elvira or like Vampira.
I think she more looks like Morticia Adams.
I can see that. She's got the eyebrows that are Vampira-esque.
I think there's maybe like a mixture of Vampira, Elvira, and Morticia
Adams. Yeah, I could see that. But she's melting, which is odd considering that the window behind her looks like it's nighttime with lightning. So I'm not really understanding if there's a heat problem in the wax museum itself.
Have you ever been to a wax museum?
I have, yeah.
I've been to Madame Tussauds,
yeah.
Tussauds, thank you. And I love that. That was so cool. Like, wax museums are really cool, except they're really creepy. Especially
they're so creepy.
Especially when they use the wax models for Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
For their museums are really creepy.
I live near San Francisco, and they used to have a very old wax museum that was family-owned that had some of the creepiest ones. And they actually got bought out by Madame Tussauds, and now it's a Madame Tussauds down in San Francisco. And it was weird looking at some of them because they just didn't look like the people, but they kind of did. It was a very passing resemblance. And then when we went to the Madame Tussauds recently, it was very frightening how lifelike everybody thing was. I mean, they have them like right where with no barriers, you can like get up close and touch them, and it's just very frightening.
Yes, I always was drawn to all the horror ones. Like, yeah, Freddy Krueger was a really good one. I'm surprised they just didn't have like Robert Englund just there.
Oh, I want to say that they've done that as a gag. He's done that a time or two.
Johnny Depp does that, where he'll dress up and he'll just go to Madame Tussauds and just do it.
Yeah, I would be so scared. Just, that's like my fear. Where mannequins too, anything that's human-like, you think that after the lights go off, something's gonna start moving.
Oh yes, and then the only way to kill them is through fire, which I guess the wax figures coming alive would be the worst enemies because they're so easy to destroy. Or
exactly.
So the back of this cover, so let's all give like a nice little thing. So the back pun, because there's not a front pun for these. It's too hot to handle.
Ba-dum-bum.
Your teacher thinks it'll be cool for your class to hang out at the new wax museum in town. Yeah, right. Once you get there, your teacher starts blah blah blahing about something or other, and that's when you and your friends see the red door. You decide to check the door behind door number 1. You'll discover the museum's owner's secret for having lifelike sculptors. And it doesn't look like fun. If you decide to ditch the red door and go the other way, you'll end up meeting Mrs. Sybil Wicked, and you wish you hadn't. You will escape this wicked place before you're turned into a human candle? ? You ready for this?
I hear red door and I just assume it's some sort of weird 50 Shades of Grey thing.
I want to see all my playthings and it's just a collection of goosebumps.
I'm just sitting, I have goosebumps, yeah. I'm like, wait, goosebumps in terms of being repulsed and terrified that this is a person that could definitely kill me. Yeah. So R.L. Stine prophesied all of this.
Yeah, he already invented leggings, because every female protagonist wears leggings, as my friend Meg, who's a co-host, pointed out, as well as all the other weird things that happen in these books, same as how R.L. Stine invented Inception with Monster Blood. He had dreams within dreams. Oh my gosh, the man is a genius. You know what? Stephen King, I know people love him, but really, we need to have R.L. Stine's brain preserved, because the man is a genius. Well, we don't know that. He could already be a robot, for all we know. Oh my god, I think my mind just blew right there. Oh my gosh, that's true. That makes sense. Because he just keeps pumping out books. He's just like, beep, boop, complete. Beep,
exactly,
boop, complete.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I grew up with Babysitter's Club books, and Anna Martin just fell off the face of the earth. R.L. Stine keeps making books. I'm starting to wonder if he's like Disney and is just gobbling up other authors and using that to fuel his writing.
Oh, yeah, he, sucks the life force out of them with a straw. He just can't get Stephen King. Hey, would you mind coming over, Steve? No.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, nope, I know your game, man.
Because that's my game, too.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh, we just created an international conspiracy here.
Great. Now there's, a white pizza van outside my room. Oh, great. Okay, so are you ready to start this?
Yes.
Cool, you explain to your best friend Liz and Jake. The field trip to the Wicked Wax Museum is today. I can't believe our class gets to see it the day before the grand opening. Finally, Mr. Dunning's history class won't be such a bore. Jake adds, flipping his black baseball cap around backwards.
I'm an idiot who's hates history. This doesn't sound like me. And I hang out with people that put their hats on backwards. Already, I sound like a horrible human being that deserves to die.
Mr. Dunning's more like Mr. Doll. You said it, Liz giggles. Her red curls bounce when she laughs. Hey, why is it called the Wicked Wax Museum anyways? That's the name of the guy who owns it, Jake explains. Dr. Izzy Wicked.
Oh, that doesn't sound promising at all.
Is it like Eddie Izzard? Does he own this wax museum?
That would be awesome.
He made all the wax figures. Well, according to Mr. Dole, Liz adds, the museum is supposed to bring history to life for us, or something like that. Yeah, right, Jake smirks, and maybe the wax figures will come to life too. Oh gosh, Lizzie says, you're giving me the creeps, Jack.
This guy's just damned us all.
Come on, you two, you say. The bus is here. Let's be the first in line to grab the back seats. Oh my god, so far you're the cool kids.
Oh my god, and this sounds like we're about to enter Jurassic Park. Let me guess, there's a life lesson here.
No, I feel like you get onto the bus, and then the bus veers off on a cliff, and you've just entered Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
It's the Twilight Zone. We're gonna hear the Twilight Zone theme song just playing on the radio and be like, yeah, that's not weird.
On the bus, you rush back. You and Liz take the two-seater. Jake sits alone across the aisle with his red sneakered feet on the seat. Now no one else can sit there. Jake leans back, his chin's brown hair falls over the top of his seat. Oh god, he's got long hair too. Oh god, no.
This is a symbol for what Jake will be doing the rest of his life, stealing seats all alone.
Let's get this crate rolling, he muttered. All right, people, Mr. Dunning's shouts from the front of the bus. Thanks my personal donation to the museum, we get to see the place before it opens to the public tomorrow. The teacher does one last head count. All right, Sal, he says to the driver. We're all here, let's go. As soon as the bus starts moving, Jake presses his nose and opens his lips against the window for the viewing pleasure.
He just got, MRSA or something.
I'm surprised he doesn't have mono at this point.
And I have to wonder, the teacher's in on this, right? Because a teacher's salary, he's not donating any money to anything on a teacher's salary.
They don't know. This is 90s salary, so... Or maybe he teaches for, that's his fun job, and he's actually a multi-millionaire, and he just teaches for fun.
I'm thinking he might be the guy who owns this wax museum. $10 says he's got his hand in all sorts of illegal activity. This is something to investigate.
He breathes on the window and writes in the steam, honk if you hate history. Honk, you start laughing. Honk, honk, Lizzie adds.
My God.
You and Liz are honking so loud you don't see Mr. Dunning's coming down the aisle. He looks mad.
Great, now I'm in trouble, too.
Yeah, that's enough out of you three. You always making trouble, the red-faced Dunning sputters. If you hate history so much, you can just wait the rest of us in the lobby. Oh, brother, you groan. There goes our fun. Minutes later, the bus pulls over to the stone building. Mr. Dunning leads the class into the lobby of the Wicked Wax Museum. A scowling woman in a purple turban and gold bracelet sits behind the ticket booth. These three, the students will not be going in, Mr. Dunning tells her. He turns to you, Jake, and Liz, and points to a bench on the wall. Sit there, you little monsters.
I'd be telling him, you can secretly hate us on the inside, but I'm pretty sure you'd lose your job.
You better still be sitting there when I get back. The class leaves you behind and you enter the hall of historical exhibits. A red door closes after them. Jake manages to sit still for a few minutes, then he jumps up and says, I think it's time for us to take a little tour of our own.
I'd be like, look, kid, you already got us in trouble, and now our tax dollars are not going to allow us to partake in this public school field trip.
Yeah.
So, how about you just shut up?
Jake, don't, you whisper loudly as he disappears through the red door. You glance at the ticket lady. She's busy with something in the booth. Jake, you call again. We're in enough trouble already. You sit back from the bench and try to grab the door before it closes. Too late, the red door slams in your face. Hey, open up, you hear Jake yelling through the door. He rattles the knob. Help, he cries. Liz leaps up and helps push the door open. It won't budge. Ha ha, funny. Stop kidding around, Jake, she scolds. Help, Jake screams. He really does sound scared. Then you hear a whirl with like a motor starting up. The click of gears mingles with Jake's cries. Jake, you shout. There's no answer. You press your ears against the door and listen. I think there's something is really wrong, you whisper to Liz. His cries are getting farther and farther away. You have to get him. You shake the door handle and give you one last push. Suddenly the door opens easily. Darkness greets you both. Darkness and a loud whirling of a motor. No sign of Jake.
Okay, couldn't we just go find the lady at the ticket booth and be like, hey, how incompetent are you that you don't hear a child's plaintive cries for help?
Oh, she's too busy reading, like, Variety or something.
Oh, my gosh. See, obviously this wax museum can't handle 20, middle schoolers. How's it going to handle a full group of people?
I don't know. So, are you ready for the first options you can pick?
Sure.
If you go in after Jake, turn to page 30. If you decide to help first, go to page 101, but hurry.
Oh, gosh. Let's go in and help the idiot.
Yeah, friendship. Wink.
This kid better be a good friend, like a friend that'll help me move once I leave town.
I need that help with my couch, Jake? Nah.
Remember that time I saved you from the wax museum?
Yeah, good times, good times. It's like a 90s sitcom. He just has like 90s catchphrases.
I shouldn't have saved him. I should have let him die.
No time to lose. Jake needs our help. You step into the darkness. Liz clutches your arm. I don't like the motor sound, she stammers. You don't like it either? But it's too late to turn around. The heavy red door slams shut behind you. A thick bolt slides into place on its own. You're locked in. Slowly your eyes adjust to the strange red light that fills the room. You then see they're making what's making the motor sound. Ahead of you is a conveyor belt moves slowly through the velvet, streamed opening into the black tunnel. It reminds you of those luggage carousels at the airport, but there are no suitcases on this conveyor belt. Instead, there are bodies. And Jake is also, you see Jake. And he's moving slowly away from you. His red sneakers are disappearing into the tunnel. Then you notice something else. Out of the corner of your eye, you see something move. Across the room, it's only a shadow, but there's definitely something out there. What is it?
I'm not feeling the shadowy presence right now.
If you want to find out what's moving through the shadows, turn to page 93. If you ignore it and go after Jake, turn to page 18.
Yeah, we're gonna ignore it for now.
Jake, you shout. You lunge to pull him back, but his feet, before you can grab his sneakers, a steel door slams shut over the opening. You pull your head back just in time, kneeling on the low platform in front.
Oh, I thought for a second we cut his feet off. That would have been great.
He starts bleeding to death all over the wax figures. I mean, child murder isn't fun. It's mostly like child feet mutilation. But I guess...
Yeah, exactly. We're not murdering. We're just, making sure he never decides to go through a red door again.
The door slides up and the conveyor belt starts moving again. You're so startled you lose your balance. Splat. You fell face first. You're on the belt. Liz, you cry in terror. Get me out of this thing. Liz jumps in the belt and pulls you off. The belt speeds up. Now before you and Liz begin dragging along the tunnel. Up ahead, Jake lies motionless on the moving belt. And the end of the tunnel sign room says, this way to steaming room.
This sounds like Willy Wonka's House of Horrors. And Willy Wonka already had a House of Horrors.
Well, Willy Wonka just changed his name from being Jigsaw to just being Willy Wonka. He went into the, candy business after, not dying of cancer in Saw 27.
And then he thought, I would just love it if these people opened like a nice haberdashery business. Like make hats. Hats never hurt anybody.
Oh, great. It's going to be like Ed Gein type of hats. Yeah. Put the lotion.
What about parfumery, like fragrances? Nobody ever got hurt with fragrances.
Do you want man stank or woman stank?
I opened myself up for that, didn't I?
You see, Willy Wonka just can't win. He'll turn anything into like a death trap. I opened up a pet store with the most exotic pets, from the Loch Ness Monster all the way to a nerd. The steaming room, you ask Liz, what do you suppose they do there? Liz only shakes her head as the conveyor belt comes to a sudden stop.
I'm so stupid. I deserve to die early.
The steaming room, where we're going to become buns for sure. Wait, what? You squirt, trying to peer ahead. Oh, no, sorry. You squint. So you pee yourself.
I like the first iteration.
You squirt trying to peer your head around the darkness. You're about to call out to Jake's name when you hear the voice says, "Let's get him off this belt," says one man. "Mr. Wicked wants this one steamed right away." "Maybe we should skip the steaming," one man says. "If Mr. Wicked wants us to be finished in time for the grand opening tomorrow, we might just have to go on to the next step." "No way," says the other man. "You know we can't skip any steps. If the steam is skipped, nothing goes right." Okay. Let's get this kid into the tube." You and Liz gaze at each other in horror. Jake always had a knack for getting into trouble, but this time, he's out of his league.
I would say that maybe getting on drugs would probably be worse, but yeah, I'm pretty sure being kidnapped by psycho steaming wax museum attendants is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the steaming. "We've got to see what they're doing," you whisper. You and Liz tiptoe along the conveyor belt. Finally, you can see the room at the end of the tunnel. Two men are lifting Jake off the conveyor belt. His body hangs limp. You watch in terror as they load into the tall glass tube and shut the door. The room is filled with these human-sized tubes. They look like test tubes, but they have doors. Each tube is also clear hose sticking out of the top, connecting them to a big pipe on the ceiling. And Jake is inside one of them. "How can we get him out of there?" Liz whispers. Before you can answer, the conveyor belt starts up again with a jolt. You and Liz are knocked off your feet and carried down the tunnel towards the test tube room. Then you notice that the air around you is getting damp and heavy, and you're feeling sleepy, very sleepy. A spot of purple smoke hisses under the conveyor belt. Sleeping gas. How would you know what sleeping gas is?
Yeah, how do you know it's not just regular, like, air? How do you know it's not some sort of carcinogen, okay, that's gonna give you cancer after you get out of this? Sleeping gas is the least of your problems.
Oh my god, guys, I read this in Eagle Scouts. It's sleeping gas.
I didn't know that was next to how to figure out which of the berries are gonna kill you.
Well, it's right next to the course where you plan a, paramilitary task force to invade a small foreign legion.
I was gonna say it's the Red Dawn chapter, pretty much.
Yeah, how did you know? That's actually the new chapter, and to become an Eagle Scout, you have to perform Red Dawn
And we haven't gotten that in the Girl Scout handbook yet, so...
Yes, I'm still waiting. Actually, you guys probably are more tactical. You probably put the poison in the Thin Mints.
That's true. We get you with the cookies.
Yes, it's kind of like Despicable Me. You have, the cookie robots.
That's still... that movie has a soft spot in my heart.
It registers in your brain, but your body is now helpless to do anything about it. It's all you can do is rock your head from side to side and see where you're going. No surprise there, you and Liz are heading straight into the waiting hands of two men in gloves and doctor masks.
Great, I've been roofied, and I'm going to be handed off to become a sex slave. This is just too real, guys. It's too real.
The two men in the doctor's mask dragged you and Liz off the belt. "2 more for the steaming," says one of them. "Dr. Wicked will be pleased." They roughly load you and Liz into a separate test tube and close the glass door and seal them. "They're going to steam us," your mind screams. "We'll die." Already you have to fight for breath.
Actually, a lot of people pay good money for a steaming, so, we might not die. Our pores might just be really exfoliated.
Oh my gosh, that's even more scary. What about the acne it's gonna cause from that?
That's why we hope that sleeping gas also had some sort of, chemical acne protection.
If I ever have to, change my name and be on some, FBI watch list, I want to have, the most evil name possible, like Mr. Wicked. Or Mr. Deathkill.
Senor Menace or something like that.
Please, the Wicked name has been in my family for many generations.
Of course.
It's right next to Stalin Wicked and Mussolini Wicked and Kim Jong-un Wicked.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a problem here. I'm not seeing an issue.
Oh, What country is it? Oh, we're from the wicked countries. Shifty eyes.
You know, Transylvania.
Oh,
Romania. One of the ES.
How do you know you're from Pennsylvania? Did you go to Penn State? Yes. Yeah. Besides, once the steaming starts, whatever it is, you'll probably need all the strength you can muster. Maybe you should lay low, try to conserve air and energy. You hope you can come out alive. So, what will it be? Will you try to fight and escape? Or if you stand perfectly still and save the oxygen?
Oh gosh. Nope, I'm claustrophobic, so I'd have to find a way to escape.
You pound the glass, fighting to escape. A sudden rush of steam whooshes through the hose to the top of the tube. You can't breathe. Sweat drips down your forehead. Your fingernails scrape against the glass as you crawl towards the door. The steam is getting thicker. There's no way out. I'm suffocating. You choke out the last words. Let me out. You beat the glass with your fists, but your hands are limp and useless. The steam has softened them too much. You're shriveled like a prune. The steam process is shrinking you. You're the size of a Barbie doll. What?
What? Okay, that's not how... R.L. Stein doesn't know how water works.
Help, you cry. Even your voice is smaller now. The two men in the doctor's mask can't hear you. They glance at the test tube and shake their head. Another goner, says one man, matter-of-factly. But it's this one that we can take to the heat. You feel a little sick, a little tired, a little... When they open the door, you're just a speck on the bottom of the test tube. The good news is the steaming is finished. The bad news is, so are you. So you turn to a Barbie doll.
Because that makes what sense? As a female, I always envisioned myself as a Barbie doll, but I just thought that the process would be a lot more expensive. Apparently, all you need is a trip to a nice steam room.
Yeah, you just get smaller, apparently, because I guess... You know, your cellular structure also changes when you get steamed.
They essentially figured out how to make Ant-Man. Okay.
Oh my...
How are they not working for the government then?
Well, you see, Dr. Wicked actually is Hank Pym.
I could see that. Apparently, yeah, I'm waiting for Robert Downey Jr. to come out and be like, yeah, this is the process now, guys.
Okay, so where do you want to start back from? Because we get two options. Do you want to not try to save your friend, or do you want to try to not save your friend?
Let's not save my friend. I knew better than to go after that moron. Look what it got me. Barbie doll shrinkage. So, you know what? Screw him.
Screw you. I'm going home.
Exactly.
So we're having like a rewind on the VCR. Oh no, the tracking's off.
I miss VCR. You know, the funny thing is my brother has no concept of VCRs. He was born after they were slowly out of fashion, so... He will never get the sweet sting of having to rewind our videotapes to rewatch them. I
remember going back to Blockbuster when they just switched over to, DVDs, because I was born in 95 and, we always got DVDs. And I remember a lot of them still had the, Be Kind Rewind on DVDs. And I thought that was
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because
I miss video stores so much.
Have you ever been to Vidiots?
No, I have not. I want to. So it's on my bucket list.
Vidiots is amazing, and then also there's one near my house called Rhino, and it's amazing.
Oh, I work. My day job is at Classic Flicks. It's like Netflix for classic film. So when I go into the office, we have all these movies that I can essentially run my own video store with my boss, of course, but. It's the same concept, only I miss the sweet feel of going in and picking out stuff and being pretentious and...
I remember, okay, so I would wish I could go back in time just because I miss the feeling back when I was 12 when we still used to have Blockbuster, because this is before, Netflix Instant was, we'd pick up a pizza from Pizza Hut right next to the Blockbuster. We'd pick a movie. I usually picked a shitty horror movie. So I think the last movie I picked up from Blockbuster was Snakes on a Train. I remember that because I really liked Snakes on a Plane and was disappointed.
I remember going when they were doing their going out of business sale. So I got quite a few movies that if you look in my DVD shelf now, you can tell because the boxes are bigger. Even though they're DVD, they're taller. So I have a couple of those. Although when I moved from Arizona to California, I didn't return my VHS copies of Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. So I still have the old VHS in the Blockbuster box. So
that's probably worth something now.
Either they're worth something, or if I ever go back to Arizona, I might be arrested for never returning my Blockbuster movies.
We have you surrounded, Krista.
Exactly.
Return Romy and Michelle. This is not a drill.
Yeah, that would be, I think that's actually, they said that that's happened, or they had to pay a fine, like somebody kept their Blockbuster movies like for 30 years, and even though the company's out of business, they still got sent a fine. I forget what it was. It was in the last like year or two.
That's stupid. But okay.
Exactly.
That was like reminding me of the time that my friend and I drove. Actually, he told me the story because I didn't see it. But we passed by the shadiest place that had a VHS repair shop.
Wow.
I'm like,
that person.
If they're not selling some type of weird illegal substance, then I would go in there and probably ask to fix my VCR.
That's probably the saddest store ever. Like somebody walks in and they perk up. Customers, we have customers.
Oh, do you guys...
That's an R.L. Stine book waiting to happen.
Do you guys sell DVDs or Blu-ray players? Get out!
They start crying. Why?
They said it was a lucrative business that VHSs would never go out of style. They said that about Betamax, too.
Exactly. Laserdisc.
I like Laserdiscs. Okay, we're getting on a huge tangent about like all these DVDs.
Exactly. Back to not saving Jake.
You're beginning to believe Jake's scream really ain't a joke. Still, you don't want to go through at the pitch dark doorway. The yawns in front of you. Yeah, that's what it says, yawns.
That's weird.
We better ask someone to help, you suggest. You look around the lobby. There's no one here except for that weird ticket lady. Liz whispers, she looks like a fortune teller in the purple turban. She gives me the creeps. Is it because of the turban? Is Liz a racist?
Liz sounds like a petty racist. So, okay, my best friend is a racist and kind of a guy that's probably going to be a misogynist in about 10 years. So, everything's coming up me right now.
Jake's just like, guys, look, I have this new invention. It's called a hoverboard. Well, creepy or not, she's the only one here, you point out. You approach the ticket booth window. The ticket lady is sitting with her back to you. Excuse me, you say. The ticket lady doesn't speak or move. Excuse me, you say a little louder. You think your friend's in trouble. Can you help us? Still no answer. Why won't you answer, Liz yells. What's wrong with you?
Well, because you're a racist, Liz, and you made fun of her.
Maybe she's deaf, you whisper.
Oh my god, I am so insensitive.
You reach into the booth and tap the ticket lady on the arm. Her arm is cold and hard. You gasp. She's not real. She's only a wax figure. What's going on here?
Or that.
So you're all idiots. What's happening? Oh.
Yeah, we're morons, okay.
And I'm sorry, Liz is just a racist moron.
And keep in mind, this plotline would devolve in 10 seconds if people had cell phones. Or Facebook. Like, Wax Museum is effed up. LOL, hashtag help me.
And then they'd be like, what's text speak? Facebook's dead, guys. You have to Twitter it now.
Exactly.
How can I plead my calls for help in only 145 characters?
Exactly. Hashtag send help. YOLO.
Oh, see, that's what Jake does. Exactly. His handle's like Bilbo Swaggins.
Yes, exactly. And Liz is like, gypsies are not cool. Yeah.
You freeze. Bad choice. The door at the closet flies open. A hand reaches in and picks you by your shirt collar. It's Axel. Who the hell's Axel?
Who? Should I know this person?
Got you. A skull-faced driver sneers. He grabs Liz in the other hand. You didn't think I'd drop you off and not pick you up, don't you? Not when Miss Sybil needs you. Who is this person? Did I miss something?
Are we talking Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses? Is this his new line of work now?
Am I on the right page? I feel like I'm confused.
I feel like, yeah. Should we know this person?
Okay, so apparently the pages were stuck together. As what happens with these Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Live show.
Because it goes from 12 to 14, so I had it technically on the right page. An awful gurgling cry from the doorway behind you makes you both shudder. Jake, there's no time to figure this out. The ticket lady is made out of wax. Your friend needs your help. Well, have you go outside and find the bus driver, you tell him. Come on. The bus driver's name's Axel. Oh my god.
Okay. That still doesn't explain why the hell he's there, but that at least we've been introduced.
You step outside the lobby and look for Sal, this bus driver, but he's nowhere near in sight. In fact, there's no living soul anywhere around you. Where are you going to? At the moment, a long black limousine pulls up next to you. The windows are tinted black and dark blue. You can't see who's inside until the other passenger side window slowly glides down. A uniformed driver leans across the seat. His hat throws a deep shadow and hides his face, but his voice is friendly, as to say, "Hi, I'm Axel. May I be your some assistance?"
Not exactly the description we're getting now.
"Help!" Liz cries. "Our friend's trapped in the museum and we can't find anyone to help him rescue him." "Calm down," Axel says. There's a phone in the back seat. Get in. You can call for help."
Oh my god, we're so stupid. We're gonna fall for the my puppy can help you find candy?
I need a second. I'm like, why is Liz so stupid?
Exactly. She is a female, okay? She should know 101 of being a woman is you never get into the sketchy limousine that pulls up.
Okay, are you ready? The limo back door opens. You spot the phone. That's all you can see. The car is equipped with the works. There's a television, a refrigerator filled with soda and snacks, a CD player, and every CD anyone could want. What would there be, like Vanilla Ice and like the Backstreet Boys?
How old is this? Did
96.
we even get the Okay, so Backstreet Boys might be there. Definitely no Britney Spears though. So already,
okay,
I'm
so
just not
definitely Will
into
Smith
this.
is there. So
okay, well, that is a promising album. So okay, we have that. We can get jiggy with it.
Beastie Boys are probably also in there.
Okay, I mean some Madonna probably.
Michael Jackson.
Yes. Okay, so I mean, as long as it's like cool music. If I get in and it's weird country or something, then I'd have to be like, look.
Are you secretly you look at all the CDs and they're all just Weird Al albums?
Exactly. I would so be judging. Like, do I get in this car based on what music is included?
Wow, this car is loaded, you declare. I'm about to say that the driver turns around, not like this gun. The driver laughs. That's right. Hop in and help yourself to a soda. Put on some music. Your parents always told you never to get in a car with strangers. On the other hand, you need to call for help. And a cold soda sure would taste good. What should you do? I'm trying so hard not to throw this book across the room right now.
Yeah, this is the worst stranger danger example I have ever seen.
Okay, here are your options as a smart person. If you decide to get into the limo, go to page 118. If you decide you better not, go to page 135.
I'm not getting in the sketchy limo, okay? That's just not happening.
Axel then says, but I have a puppy in the back.
And to that I would say, dude, it's 96, okay? We all watched Birdie at the bare minimum, and we ain't getting in the limo.
Oh, okay. I can't get in this car, you said reluctantly. I'd get in big trouble with my parents. What? Liz explodes.
That's the least of your problems, guy.
What? Liz explodes. Jake's in danger, and all you can think about is your parents would say, you wimp. Fine, stay there. I'm getting in the limo. Oh my god.
Okay, so it's not my parents, it's that I don't want to end up being filleted and used as a skin vest for somebody, for starters. And B, Liz, you are a woman. Why the hell would you decide that you would... No, she's a moron.
She's gonna become a skin vest now, or she's a
skin vest,
or she's gonna be like a Canadian pop star. Those are the two options I see: skin vest, Canadian pop star.
Exactly.
Well, I guess she needs to learn how to say a boot.
Well, at least I should probably get the license number because when they find her corpse, I can at least say where what information I have.
I'm sorry, but this is stupid. She climbs into the long black car. You stand on the pavement and feel like an idiot. Then you hear her give a cry. Jake, huh? You bend down and peer into the car. Sure enough, there's Jake lounging on the buttery leather seat in his red sneakers, popped on an embroidered footrest. He raises soda cans, you see. See you later, sucker, he calls. Wait, how did you get there? You demand. But it's too late. The car door slams in your face. Dimly through the tinted windows, you see Liz and Jake inside. It looks as if they're laughing at you probably. A deep, threatening voice behind you makes you spin around.
Well, okay, I'm not understanding. Is R.L. Stine trying to promote a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet?
Jake's in there, so he's obviously rich. I'm confused about the buttery leather.
Yeah, why do we... I'm thinking R.L. Stine is trying to say, children, please get into the car of a stranger if it's rich leather.
No, they're not taking you to the David Bowie concert. Just run.
Wealthy people can't possibly be murderers, is, I think, the intent.
It's Mr. Dunning. The rest of your class is standing right behind you. Everyone's staring at you. I thought I told you to stay inside, he yelled. This is the last straw. You have it this time, but you sputter. No buts, Mr. Dunning orders. I'm calling your parents right now, and he marches back to the lobby. The kids from the class start staring at you. What a loser, someone mutters. A couple of them start to snicker. You feel about 2 inches tall. Looks like you've made the wrong choice in the end. I'm done.
What? Okay, did nobody else see that the children were abducted by a stranger?
Nope, you're a loser. They're gonna call your parents, so what a wimp.
R.L. Stine promotes horrific things that end up getting children Okay, well, I want the sequel book that says when they find Liz and Jake's bodies in a ditch somewhere, that, you know, I got in trouble for being the smart person.
I'm so confused about this. I'm really confused. I mean,
I'll
give this one, like, R.L. Stine was probably thinking of, like, endings, like, stranger danger. Okay.
Nah, we don't need that. Strangers aren't dangerous.
He probably has like a personal vendetta against like McGruff, the crime dog.
Exactly, McGruff raised a generation of sissies.
Yeah, that's it. Because okay,
I feel like we need to write a letter to RL and be like, so I got in the car of a stranger that I didn't know because you told me that only wimps and morons didn't get into cars with strangers, and now I'm in therapy for the next 20 years. Thanks.
You actually get like R.L. Stine's number, like he picks up. Hello, hey, I'm in the back of a car. I followed your advice on the Wicked Wax Museum. What? Help me! Send the police. It's getting claustrophobic in this trunk.
No, what should I do? What page should I turn to figure out how to get out of here?
We love you, R.L. Stine.
We say this with love, of course, but I'm pretty sure you promoted horrific values.
No, he just promoted idiot people. But then again, they are 12, and I'm pretty sure, like...
Even worse.
They probably ate, like, lead paint and... hit each other until they...
Well, maybe, yeah, that could explain their stupidity and racism.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, see, what happened is, like, Jake accidentally hit, Lizzie too many times with the sock and boppers.
Oh, yeah.
So she's horribly concussed.
I was going to say it was either that or the Sky Dancers, if you remember the Sky Dancers.
It actually gave her a lobotomy.
Exactly, because everybody looked up and then they got hit in the head with them.
Yes. Did you ever see the video, the one that floats to the fire? They go,
No, I haven't.
There's a really funny video. It's like from an old VHS or VCR, one of those old digital recorders. And it's this girl. She gets it for Christmas. She spins it up, and it flies once and flies right into the fireplace.
That couldn't have been better planned if she had tried.
Oh God, that was such a. So, what did you think of this? Was it scary?
Well, I didn't really get a chance to actually get into the wax museum. This seems like a book that set you up to fail. Because if you try to make any halfway decent, intelligent decision, you don't get into the book. And I was like, okay, apparently being smart is not the way to read these books. You have to be wildly stupid, but not too stupid, because then you end up R.L. Stine sets us up to fail. This is like, how are you smarter than a 5th grader if you can get through this book and actually achieve it?
Well, I mean, I guess because, I wonder what else would happen in this book. Only the weirder endings probably occur. Like, you probably become...
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure one of the endings is you become a wax figure, or like...
Oh, definitely. Well, we did turn into a Barbie doll, so I mean, the next logical thing would be either we turn into a wax figure or turn into Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Or, like, you actually become, like, a famous person wax figure, so, like, you become, like,
Marilyn Monroe.
Is that who you want to become if you became a wax figure?
Sure. I mean, if I'm gonna, I might as well improve myself and just become the exact opposite of me.
I think I would probably want to be... Maybe R.L. Stine. That'd be cool.
There you go. Of course.
A wax figure of R.L. Stine.
And then you could write more find some way to put pen to paper and put out a more intelligent one of these books that promotes being having fun and having scares, but not ending up in like a child sex slavery ring.
Thanks, Kristen, for being on the show. It was a lot of fun having you here and talking about stranger danger and becoming Barbie dolls.
Exactly, it was fun. I'm sure somebody's gonna say that I made the wrong decisions and it could have been better, which I agree. But that's the nature of R.L. Stine. It's why you choose your own adventure.
Yes, you also give yourself goosebumps. So, Kristen, where can they find you?
I am on Twitter at journeys_film. You can also visit journeysinclassicfilm.com, or if you want to listen to my podcast, you can visit Walt Sent Me Pod. Just look it up. It's on Google, or ticklishbusiness.podbean.com.
So you can find me at Night Fear Street at Twitter, or you can find us on our website at Ghoulish Fancies. Or you can even email us at nightmareandfearstreet@gmail.com. If you want to find me, you can find me at Suda41. Thanks, guys, for listening to this. This is a really fun episode that we guys got to do. And so thanks, guys, and stay spooky. Bye.